Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Tuesday to all of my peeps out there in LinkedIn land. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. We got another great episode for you today. We're talking about mentorship and unleashing your potential. I know mentors and talking about mentorship, everyone looks upon that in a whole different light. And it's depending on where you're coming from and the profession you're in, what your perspective is. But we're going to talk about that mentorship and how that unleashes your potential. Because a lot of times when we enter into these mentorships, we're thinking about what we can give to others. What do we have to offer to others? But we're going to flip the dynamic a little bit and seeing how you being a mentor can really unleash your own potential, even create and cultivate greaterness within you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We got just an amazing, amazing show for you today. We're going to talk about a lot of things we got going on. Me and my wonderful guest. For you all that's tuning in live, drop in the comments. You know how we do Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10. Drop in the comments. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Tell us what you got going on. Talk to us about some topics or some things that you want to see, or just join in the discussion and engage with us. We love the love that you guys show. But I can't do this by myself. I'm bringing to the stage my wonderful co-host, the amazing Charlie Brown. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, just want to make
We
sure
on
that
the
y'all
haters.
can see and hear me because I
Yes.
see some yellow bars, but I ain't gonna let that happen. That
Oh, we're
we
not
not
doing
doing
that.
that.
We're not speaking those yellow bars into existence. We're not going to speak that as though they were. We're going to speak clearness today. Even on my
Yeah.
camera, we're going to speak clearness. Don't start all that fuzziness crap. You know what I mean? It's nice and
Yes.
stormy in Jersey. It seems like it's raining every day. I feel like I'm in Seattle. We
Oh
get
Lord,
we getting
I
some
don't
kind
even
of
know
rain or
what's
some kind of
going on,
storm every day. So I don't know what
man.
it
But
is.
but isn't that a little bit of what fall is about? Fall is
That
not to be
is, and I'm
sunny weather
so
all the time.
yes, but I'm so glad it's not snow. So that's a marvelous thing because it could be snowing every day, and I would be really
There you
upset about
go.
that. So it is what it is. But we jumping into it today. I talked about a little bit about the mentorship, but I thought about it as we were talking about this subject and coming up with this. How can we flip that? Because everyone is always their perspective of mentorship is what they have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
What they have to invest in someone else. What can someone else get from them or being in their presence or being up under them studying and learning? But what about the mentorship being flipped? You being a mentor, but in this being a mentor, you're really unleashing your potential. You're learning things about yourself. You're developing and cultivating the kind of person that you are, even though you're sharing your knowledge and expertise. So I looked
Yep.
at it from that point and I said, let's dive in. And we also going to talk about some of the great things that we have. I'm just going to mention this one part of our website is live, y'all. I'm not going to say nothing else right now. I'm going to leave Charlene.
He's like, I'm gonna leave it right there, cause
I'll leave it right there. That's like my man Usama said that's a mic drop. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. And I'm not gonna tell you all the wonderful things which I think it does and I don't know. So
oh Lord. Well, yes, the site, thank you, Lord, is up and running and live to the public.
yes, yes,
Um, and a lot of times, what it really is, because you know how me and Carl get down. We have so many ideas that
yes.
uh, we want to put them all out at one time, but my techie side, my web side, my architect side got to kick in and say, hold on now. What is it? Hold on, grasshopper.
Hold on, grasshopper, because
Hold on,
sometimes I
grasshopper.
start thinking about all the many ideas I have, and the next thing you know, overflood the system. Like danger, Will Robinson. So we got to
Yeah,
make sure.
so of course we are in our soft launch mode where anything that kicks out at you guys, please let us know. But what we really wanted to do for this site is make it easy because, as we know, for especially us LinkedIn Live folks, it's kind of hard to send people back to your shows, right? Especially if you're doing it from your profile, you don't have certain things yet set up, or you're not creating an actual event. Sometimes it's harder. Even when you create the events, it's harder to find these things. If you're doing this for a good year, good luck trying to track all of that stuff.
Oh man.
So some of the painstaking work was trying to figure out how can we get it on a one platform where it makes it easier for you to see all the amazing people and the amazing discussions we've been having. And so what I did, I went hunting for all of the shows that we've done. And
Little hot
it's
treasure hunt.
yeah, the early stuff I had to hunt because we didn't have this idea in mind. So I
No.
hunted that down and I started putting all of them on the site. So right now what you have a bulk of our shows because there are a few, maybe about one or two that I didn't finish up yet. But we have the bulk of our shows available. The links are there on our website so you can see which shows we did. If there's a show that you wanted to go back to because they were dropping nuggets, because our guests are dropping nuggets all the
Big
time.
time. Big
So
time.
they were dropping nuggets. You weren't sure what they said, or you just needed a recap. The recaps you can catch on our websites. So it makes it so much easier for you to get to. And also, I was trying to embed them LinkedIn, all that security stuff, which I appreciate, but you're making life hard. So we're
Yeah.
also going to share on our new YouTube channel a lot of the shows that were really amazing. And I think we're going to talk about how we want to do it. Maybe we don't want to have the full thing on YouTube. We'll figure that out. But we want to make sure that you are getting access to these amazing people in our communities. And especially, hey, I'm going to toot our own horn. Carl and
Toot
I,
toot.
we say some amazing things too. We drop nuggets and don't even think about it. So,
Yeah, they just
so
flow in the conversation. Real talk.
okay, so you can catch those conversations on our websites. Like I said, the links are there for the different people. And soon, I'm working on it. Everybody's going to have their own individual pages, so you can not only hear what they were talking about, but you can see all the amazing things that they do in their own community. So links to their websites, to their own social media platforms. So no matter where they are, you can actually build that connection because that's what community is: getting to know people, building connections, asking to connect with people, and them saying, "Hell yeah, I connect with you. I got to know you."
Yeah. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
that's really what we want us to build together: a strong, active network.
Active network, and that's the key. We've been in some communities, and we've been fortunate enough to have some accountability in those communities, and being able to form collaborations. And like we always say, this show was just that, us being in community. We got to talk about ideas, and I am an
Mhm.
idea dude. And I know most of the time the idea dude is not the one to get it done, but I'm not that guy. So the idea, I come up with an idea, I pretty much got a roadmap to it. Now, the logistics of it, don't believe Charlene chicken head. Don't believe Charlene chicken head. The
What?
logistics of it, that had to come from someone else because I'm not with the logistics. You know what I mean?
If you
You
want
know.
him to get you some photos, he bomb at
Oh
that. He get
wow,
you the
wow.
photos. And I say that for those who don't know, I helped Carl with his website. At one point, I thought he was a photographer, so I had to figure
Oh
out
wow, wow. What you
what was his strategy.
my strategy was artwork. You know what I mean?
So
Uh,
yeah, so even all of that comes back into being a mentor. How can you
yes.
really show up for somebody and help them? And a lot of times it's really understanding, what do you need a mentor to help you with, and are you going to have that energy and that desire to put the action behind it? Because a lot of mentors won't take you on if you won't do the work. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't want to deal with someone that they got to drag to the finish line. And that's understandable. And that's how we all are. When you are in a corporate setting, you're part of a team, but you dragging your team behind because they're like, "Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I should do this. Or can we talk about this? How many times are you going to talk about a plan?" It's you need to talk, but then put some action behind it. So then you can tweak along the way. There's people who really don't even get to the point of taking action. And a lot of times that's what your mentor will do. Your mentor will help you think things out, come up with the plan. They won't do the plan for you, but they'll help you because they're there to get you that energy. And it depends also what type of mentor do you need? Do you want to? Hey
Yeah.
Orlando. I just want to say hi to everybody who's dropping in. Hey y'all.
Hey, everybody. Yes, Rob. Rob makes a good point. Mentorship matters in whether it's on vice versa. I've had mentors. I have a mentor now. I have a judge that's mentoring me with this law journey, and a lot of times it gets rough. But the
Mhm.
mentor, the qualification, and you have to look for it. So let's go back a little bit. When you're thinking about the mentor, it has to be a fit. A lot of times we look at mentors and even ourselves hopping into mentorships in we don't really check out the fit. We take check. They got a they got a resume, or they got a history or work, or they got things that you're excited about that entice you. That may
Mhm.
be something that you're needing to do, or something that you want to go and the direction that you want your career to travel, or even just your knowledge base that you want to grow in. But not
Mhm.
all the time that is a fit. I had two lawyers that were my mentors. They were phenomenal. One was younger than me, but he had been in law like 30 years, and I was just like fascinated by his career, his upstartness, all of that, his energy, and all of that. And I got on one Zoom call with him after me and him at text back and forth and talk back and forth, and I got on a Zoom call with him, and I just felt like, oh my God, this is not really what I thought it was. Like when I was reading your stuff and engaging in your stuff, I was like, oh man, this is a guy for me. And then when I got
Mhm.
on, our personalities just clashed. Like it became like a divisive thing. Like it became not you showing me and I learned, but like I'm gonna tell you this and this is how it is. And I was like, hold up, and then I got to,
Mhm.
my salt came in. Look, you ain't even been on the earth long enough than me, and you try to holler. So that just, so the mentorship is very important, and it matters. It matters who you're connecting yourself with. It matters what you're looking for in a mentor, and it matters what is your outcome. I think I went into that mentorship just thinking of the highlights of this guy's professional career, and I never really
Mhm.
based that upon what did I really need from him to take to apply to myself that I can become a better me, not a better him, not a
Right.
duplicate of him, but a better me. And I think these are some of the things that I think we leave out the equation when we're looking for mentors, or even if we're mentoring our own selves. We have to understand that if we're the ones with the knowledge and we're supplying that base and that guidance to someone else, is that someone that's compatible that'll receive that? Will it take that in and
Mm.
apply that? Will it be a waste of time for either of the parties involved? So there are a lot of questions involved with that mentorship. And, we haven't even got to the part about unleashing your potential in there, because there's a lot of potential once the mentorships have made a connection and they're firm with that. And I think is what I always say, vulnerability is definitely the key to driving for that.
Right. And then there's a difference in a sense. Well, I'll ask you, do you think there's a difference between a mentor and a coach? Because sometimes people might need a coach and not a mentor because they might
Well,
have some mental blocks. They might have some things
yeah.
going on that's stopping them from reaching their full potential.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely, and we want to even when you're talking about the coach is, I mean, I'll take it from a sports point of view. Coach didn't give me no talent. The coach did not
Mm.
add anything to my physical abilities. The coach is there to put on you the pressure, and I call it pressure because that's what it is. The pressure to perform with the things that you were taught. So when I look at a coach and I just keep them in that frame of mind, I'm already going into that direction. Maybe I don't know which way to go. Maybe I need the guidance. Maybe I need the fire. Maybe I need the plans. Maybe I need the steps. But those are the kind of things that a coach do. And a coach is a rah rah. Let's not get it twisted. The coach is just that. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna be impactful to you. We're gonna hit this hard. I'm gonna tell you what you need to grow. I'm gonna tell you where you need to grow, and I'm gonna tell you how to get there. I'm not necessarily. It depends upon the individual. I'm not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
going to hold your hand. I'm not necessarily going to walk you through. I'm going to put you
Right.
through. We're going to watch game film. You're going to pick it up. I'm going to put the X's and O's out there, and I need you to perform. And this is my accountability to you. I'm going to make you perform. Whereas where I have taken on being a mentor, I am about guidance and in some places holding hands because there is a necessity depending on who you're mentoring. And also is
Right.
that you have to go back and see. I see a lot of coaches a lot of times show things, put things out. And yes, you may as a sports person reconfigure that during the week to do on Sunday. But there
Mm-hmm.
again, the coaches already laid things out and they really need you to perform that. And they're gonna rah-rah you to do that. But I think in a mentor, there's more of a guidance. There's more of a flexibility of making sure that you understand, making sure that you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing incremental growth, making sure you. So it's a fine line, and it all depends upon who it is. But it's definitely a difference when you're interacting.
And I've seen a blend of that every now and
Yes.
then. A coach might do a little bit of mentorship if they see
Hmm.
something in someone, they kind of take you under their wing. And the same thing with the mentor, they'll probably be there to say, "Let me rah you on and push you forward." But like I said, neither one wants to drag you to the finish line if you don't want to get there. So, and then I think too, a lot of times you want to make sure that if you're going to take that on, if you're going to take on being a mentor or asking somebody to mentor you, really establish, is there time and how much time do you need with this person? Some mentors, they might see you once a year, once a month in person. And maybe everything else is through the phone or through an email or text message, but they're there for you. It's just how much hands-on guidance and support do you require in your life? And, like, are you somebody who needs to be semi micromanaged, or can you hear an idea and run with it? Do you need somebody to walk you step by step on how to get it done? Those kind of things all come into play when you're looking at getting a mentor or being a mentor.
Yeah, and those biggest differences that you put that you're saying with that mentor, and a lot of them, and I tend to do it as well, and I think that becomes a mode of your operation, that becomes a part of you in that, and then that's also individual specific. So therein lies that the boundaries doesn't always need to be blurred, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're thinking about it, the individual that you're working with, they may need a tad of both of them to be successful. And the coach, like I said before, I'm as the coach, I'm guiding you on specific goals and in trying to help you to reach that full potential. So I'm coaching that out of you. It's more so on the non-directive things. When I'm looking at that in a practice, as a coach, I'm looking more as asking questions, trying to
Mm-hmm.
pull from you the information that's necessary, trying to give you those aha moments so you can move forward in the things that you need to go in. And when I'm looking at it from a mentor, I'm being a little more directive. I'm transferring my skills and my knowledge and my experiences to you. In essence, that we can walk through your understanding of them. So they both play a very vital role, and they do. I wouldn't even like to use the terms blurred, but they do marry in some point in time, depending upon the individual that you're dealing with. And this is the key that I like, that it unlocks your potential. Because what it does in that marrying, in that directive or non-directive approach that you take, it's really building you. It's building your foundation for what your skills and knowledge base you're sharing. It might even get you, because some mentors I've been with, I've had to go back and I've had to do some restudying and I've had to do some re-education. I've had to, yeah, I did do that right way, but I remember that way didn't really work out for me. So I don't want to share that part of that, but I want to give them a part of that that excel with how they are and who they are as an individual. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's great there. And Rob put in there, like, yeah, just what I was saying. Mentors, they share their knowledge, skills, and experience to help develop and grow. And that's just what it is. But the coach, I'm giving you guidance on a lot of the things that you already have. You just haven't accessed them, or you don't know how to navigate them to come to your full potential. That's what the coach is.
Mm-hmm.
Coach get a superstar, they don't have to do a lot of coaching. But what they do have to do is direct you, okay, it's more than that God given talent. We talk about Michael Jordan a lot in the sports world, and a lot of people think he just was this phenomenal athlete, which he was. But a lot of people don't know that Michael Jordan got cut. If you don't know the story, I think me and Robin shared this before. He got cut from his high school team. So what did that do? That drove him in the gym to practice relentlessly on his skill set. So when you
Mm.
look at the Michael Jordan that flew and won the six championships and re-galvanized the NBA, you also have to look at, yeah, he could fly and he had air and all that, but he stayed in the gym. He worked on his jump shot. He worked on his defense. I mean, so he had the potential, but
Yeah.
still in lies, there were some things that he had to do to develop and grow.
Because he put the work in too. So
Absolutely.
that comes back to him putting the work in. And
Yes.
there's like you guys are dropping so much good stuff, like juicy stuff in this chat.
Yes,
But I
yes, I'm
wanted to
loving it. I'm loving it.
okay,
They
I wanted to
up
go.
this morning. That's what I'm talking about. Real talk.
I'm gonna give that to Gabe because I think everybody was like, wait a minute, all these shows are coming. We all let's stay awake today.
Yes, let's get that to Gabe. Good morning, Gabe. Tell you, man, he's ultimate. He's
Yes,
ultimate, ultimate, ultimate.
and
So we appreciate you, bro.
I wanted to go back to something Phyllis mentioned,
Oh,
and Phyllis is such a amazing, amazing, amazing
yes,
grandmother. If you guys need to get your branding together, which I know a lot of y'all will,
yes, yes.
Phyllis is the one. But and she don't work with just
No
everybody. So
joke, no joke. I'm gonna
get
tell you right
yourself
now. Don't go
together.
there with that foolishness.
Nah. But she makes a good example, a good comment about not going to somebody just to copy their framework. You want to get a mentor because one, your personalities can blend together. You're actually there to bring something positive out, and then two, you want that person, whatever knowledge they have, you want them to kind of pour into you, but not you only taking. Make sure that whatever you're getting from this mentor, you're putting it to good use and you're preparing yourself to help someone else along the way. I think that's where you can really flourish as a mentor yourself.
Yeah, and I think that you bring up a good point in that, and that's what your understanding of that's the understanding the relationship, the
Hmm.
compatibility. What knowledge base am I trying to receive? What knowledge base do I have? Because a lot of times when I enter into mentorships, a lot of times they form without me even knowing. It's just a give and take of experiences, ideas, stories that kind of cultivate between each other. And I'm like, wow, like I just got something from that because we look at mentorship to be just like, just kind of like opening up the heavens kind of thing. And yes, I'm
Yeah,
a mentor. Yes, I have a mentor. And it's just like, but a lot of times I've noticed even on jobs and then working in corporate and just galvanizing myself close to those that I see values and I see attributes and things that I like that I share that's compatible with how I do or how my visions are, how we kind of like share experiences and ideas and information. And it becomes a mentorship there without it being titleized, without someone
exactly.
saying, I'm your mentor, you my mentee, or vice versa. And a lot of times we go through life with these positions and these situations happening, and we don't really get it. We don't really get the gravity of it. Like, yo, I learned a lot from this guy. I was on the job for about 8 years where I worked at Chick-fil-A and I ran like four restaurants at the time. And it
See?
was like this one guy that had been to Chick-fil-A ever since he's like 14. I think he was like 40 something when I first met him. And this guy
Mm.
had started in from like the fries and just working on fries. Where he came in as a kid doing a dining room and he learned everything about the dining room. Like each step that he made from his freshman year in high school until he graduated college, he would come and just divide the restaurant up. Now this is a kid that was at 13. He lied on his application. No, I ain't gonna put him out there, but he was 13, but he wanted a job. And you had to be 14 to work at Chick. So he was a few months behind the eight ball, but he put on that he was 14, and he came in with a plan at 14 to kind of like learn all the aspects of the restaurant. And he
Mm.
delved into all of like the sauces and where you order that and how that gets done and how it get. And then he went back in the back of the house and he learned the fries and he learned inventory and he learned truck ordering and he learned. And then he just went and he just did that throughout the course of his 20 years there. And like I ran into this guy and I was like, I was just pressed upon these stores and I had no idea, but we didn't like enter into a mentorship. And what I thought it was, he was just training me on different things, and then I found myself texting him late at night, asking questions, or delving into books and reading. So
See.
there's a lot of aspect of giving back. And he was like, man, you're really great for me because you're helping me to go back and stay on top of what I had lost and not, haven't been doing and using. So the mentorship works both ways, and it's a good thing.
Mhm. And you brought something up too, because mentorship, it's, I think it flows better when it just happens. It's kind of, it
Mhm.
feels a little seamless. But even with that, when you're going deeper into whatever process that you're doing, right? You're not just saying, "Oh, I'm only here for this. This is all I'm going to learn. I don't want to know anything else." When it takes a more holistic journey, when you can now start to divvy things up, understand the different processes, and where do you fit in, and how does what you do affect other people? Because I see that a lot in corporate, especially. I'm going to say especially in corporate, only because it's a bigger gambit. If you're in a big organization, you can see you can see the different people that come through. The ones who only are here just for their side, they're not even going to look at you. So if they're late, they're not paying attention to how it's affecting other people. If somebody else is late, they're not saying, okay, wait a minute, I need to do a follow up with you because now I'm late and now that's going to affect them. So it's almost like a chain reaction,
Mhm.
no matter what you're doing. You may not see yourself in a chain, but it still affects everything and ultimately the customers, right? So I think it's different when you can actually take that holistic approach in anything that you do. And when you have your mentor come in and you're asking the questions, you're asking your mentor specific questions, like good, strong questions that shows, like, okay, wait a minute, if we're doing this, how would this affect later on? Should I also do this? Well, I'm interested in this too. It's not a one road type situation. You can vary and just make sure that whoever you choose as a mentor can do that varying with you. They can go on a journey with you, and they're not just like, well, nope, I only do finance. I can only mentor you in finance. Everything else is on your own. But if they can say, well, that's not my strength, but I can tell you a little bit of what happened with me, or I know a couple of people who might be able to help you on that, but they're guiding you along the way.
Yeah, they're really taking you under. We use that term a lot, and we talk about taking you under their wing, and what does that really mean? Thanks for stopping by, Orlando. Appreciate you, bro. Go do your
Yes, thank
voting
you,
today.
Orlando.
Definitely appreciate that.
Yes.
Yes, and also everyone, I just take a moment to say that get out and vote today. Whoever you're voting for, it is your right. People have fought, bled,
Hmm.
and died for that. So you definitely need to go do that and put your candidate in or help your candidate to get in by your vote. Is very important. We cannot complain about anything that goes on in these houses unless we go out and vote and make change. So it's definitely
Hmm.
our true giving power that no one can take away, regardless of race, religion, or any of those other discriminatory things that you may run into in other places. When it comes time to vote, everyone can go cast their vote, and your vote
Hmm.
is counted. Regardless of whatever rhetoric you've heard over the past few elections, your vote is counted. It is meaningful, and it does matter. So go get it out. So I did my PSA for the voting today. So when you talk about that, I'm thinking about the unleashing your potential. How does it really? Because there's so many avenues of that, and it just my mind is just going everywhere now. How many how many times do we really think about what potential that unleashes in us? Because, like I said, a lot of times we're thinking about the aspects of what can I offer, like what can I give, what can I
Hmm.
share, what can be that. And you talked about it so much. I'm reminded of, and I have to go with the mentorship with the sports because this is my favorite. It's one of my favorite things, and I oftentimes think about Green Bay. And for those who know quarterbacks and sports, he had Aaron Rodgers out there in Green Bay, and he got drafted, and you had Brett Favre there. And they interviewed Brett Favre about this young, brash quarterback coming in from California. And Brett Favre just said, yo, it's not my job to mentor this kid. It's not my
Mm.
job to make sure he gets it and gets my position. I'm playing my position. He said, I hope that he watches and learn and see how I do it some mentors, some mentorships don't even form because that's the thought process of the person and the individual. And I think that's a lot of what we see in corporate. They're not in alignment of sharing the individual knowledge and the potential of growth for your development. And yeah, far as the man Rob, you definitely right. And he put it straight on Aaron Rodgers. He's like, yo, he's like, he's like, I'm not paid to mentor him. You know, just
Hmm.
like Charles Barkley said a few years back, I'm not a role model. That should be your mom and your daddy. I'm not a role model. These are things that we hear from people, but I often look and take that aback and go back with that. Where if we aren't passing those experiences, what if the older generation felt that way toward us? What if like we didn't
But
have
in
the
a sense, they did. In a sense, some things were not given or shared with with my generation,
well,
where
yeah,
we were left to figure things out.
well, your
And it,
generation and my generation has a gap.
but why the gap? See, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times,
Now we talking about
a lot of times the gap is because someone was like, well, it ain't my job. Well, whose job did
right.
you think it was going to be? I think it's all of our responsibility to
Yep.
help put out the information to others so they are not stuck. And a lot of times it's not about people copying you all the time. It's about making sure that if you are going to come behind us, then here's some things you can do. Now, being a mentor, and I think this is a thing that might be going on, right? Being a mentor
Yeah.
does not mean you're someone's parent, one. It doesn't mean that you're babysitting someone. It doesn't mean that you tell people what to do. Being a mentor is you're sharing your journey and your experience, and those who are ready to listen and want to listen and follow through with what you're doing, then they can jump on board. But once again, it's not them doing exactly what you've done, but it's about them hearing you, learning from what you're saying to them, and actually taking action in their own lives. So their paths will still be different, because even if I tell someone step by step how to build a website, they're still going to find different things, tweaks here and there, that they're going to still do differently. So it's not always about the fear of having to babysit somebody, but you just want to still be someone who's useful. Because I said in another time that if you're not useful and you can't be used, then you're useless. Then what's the point of you being here if you're going to lock everything up and die with the information? What's the point?
But see, and they get back on it. I definitely agree the with the disconnect and that's we could definitely go on with that for like because it's eons of information that's involved in that the disconnect
Mhm.
and I think a lot of it and I know just in just in speaking in and I'm not going to say I'm this special guy but just speaking in how my parents raised me and how they gave me opportunities and I'm sure a lot of others have experienced as well that their parents kind of like poured into them
Mhm.
and uh, they had the opportunity to they had the opportunity to not because my mom worked two jobs and went to college while she was while she was raising me as a young mother I think I never shared this she drove cabs at night with me in the passenger seat in the late 70s so she could kind
Mm.
of pay for school like these are the risks versus rewards that she took to have a better life for me and a lot of times when I tell people that man, your mom was crazy. But you have to look at the advent of time or where we was in. Her thinking was that if I have a child in the car, no one to harm me because I have my child. Of course,
Right.
it's not the day and age that we live in now, and people definitely would not want
Mhm.
to do that kind of thing. But I think the advent of time and situation also propel her to make these kind of risk versus reward kind of situations. And if she didn't do that, she wouldn't have got her CPA, and she wouldn't because she didn't have the time. She was working two jobs. So I look
Right.
at that and say I saw this as a child. So I saw the work ethic. I saw the things being done. I saw the sacrifices being made. And that was in passing down. She didn't always sit me, up
Mhm.
under her bosom and give me lectures, but I saw with my own eyes. And I think what we mean, and we go through this, and I think we talked about this before in corporate, how we go through those that are ambassadors to the vision, the mission, the company,
Right.
the corporation, who the ones that have been there the longest, put their time in, seniority, so to speak, have been there. There's a disconnect because there's a territorial thing about this is mine And I think
Mhm.
what we have to do from the older and the new one, we have to be, and like I always said, what I had a vision of when I was working in corporate, make the older, seasoned, I won't say older, the seasoned employees, the ones that's been there, make them to the ambassador, make them the ambassador of the brand, which is the corporation. Make them the
Right.
one that they've been there. They got the knowledge base. They understand where you were back then. They can give that to the younger generations that's coming in and infuse that with the new ideas. And I think where we missed the ball at them just hereditary gaps was that our parents didn't know to do that because they circumvented all their time and action into, yo, I got to put food on the table. Or I got to some extent, to some situations it
Mhm.
can vary, but for the most part, when you look at that and you look at those not giving back, they didn't know how. I look at some parents in some
Right.
situations and look at some that grew up, and I hear stories of different ones that I work with, and it's like, man, I'm just a product of my parent didn't know how. They didn't know how to tell me stuff. I work with these
Mhm.
college kids every day, and I tell them about admissions and taking out these student loans and what courses and things to take, and they be like, oh man, this is the most kind of like information I got. And I was like, well, your mom and dad never explained this to you? No, they just be working. Or no, they, we don't do. I think we got to go back to doing that time, and I think that's why the vulnerability piece is so important to me because it brings about that gap. It fills that gap because
Mhm.
I'm listening to you saying you don't have the tools necessary. Rob put up a good point. Mentorship is important, but it's not mandatory,
Right.
and it's not mandatory. So not making it that it's got to be an option or a choice that you take. But why I say that it matters is because if you decide to get involved with it, whether you're on either side of it, the mentor or the mentee, there has to be some work there. Charlene puts it right eloquently. Really, there has to be some work there. There has to be something from both sides. There has to be some connection. There has to be some interest of things. There has to be some give and take. Because I can't just mention
Mhm.
you and lecture you. Kids are getting lectured all the time from all
Yes.
avenues, from social
Yes.
media, from parents, from schools. I mean, they're
They
getting
look
a
into
lecture.
somebody. They look into someone. So I think it's not okay to not want to do something.
Mhm.
But whatever you do, because like you, my mom, when she was in school when I was young.
Oh wow!
A little thing running around, right?
Oh wow!
Um,
Like Shadow from Stand Up.
yeah, tearing up stuff. But I remember sitting in a classroom with all these adults, and they were in class, they were doing schoolwork like I had to do my little coloring and stuff, but I had my work to do.
Oh
But
wow!
I remember that. So like you, watching her was a form of mentorship, to see, like, and it's not mentorship, it's not the active mentorship, but it's the form of saying, wow, this is what she had to do, this is what we're doing.
Mhm.
And you're not understanding at the time, but when you look back, you now have those points, to those reference points, to look back into your mind, into your memory, and see, wow, these are the people that I had to look up to. So if you ever felt like you can't do something, you have people, you have examples in your life without you needing to look towards social media or TV. And not everybody has that. So you have to be real careful about, if you're looking for a mentor, you have to really be careful about where you're looking. And then if you want to be the mentor, you have to really be careful of what it is you're doing as an active participant in someone else's life. What are you doing to help them shape that life?
Yes, it's definitely that, and I think about that even. I talk about often. My dad passed when I was 15, so from 15 to 25, I was being raised a lot by outside forces. And
Hmm.
uncles, yeah, that was never there. And then six uncles on one side, four on the other. So I had 10 men that was really capable of pouring into my life to make sure I didn't fall and become a statistic or fall into pitfalls. It was just really by the grace of God that I didn't, because they were not there. But once I got married at the young age that I did, my my wife's dad became like my mentor, so to speak.
Hmm.
He became my adult mentor. He began to fill the void and understanding and knowledge of things and how to take care of things. Because a lot of times we just have this thing now, and it's real bad now that the children are being raised by the internet. whether it be on the
Mhm.
iPad given to them to keep them busy, or whether it says Charlene say my little kid computer, my Mac, to get to get them to look at pictures or websites. But whatever the case may be, there's a lot of outside help in raising inside kids. And when I say that, it's a horrible thing. And I won't even put it anywhere. That's how I really feel about it. It's a horrible thing. And I go back to this point that I've said since March of 2020. The reset button has been pushed. So what are we doing with this time now? Are we reevaluating some ways that we're raising and parenting? Are we reevaluating some relationships and priorities of which that we've been living our lives before
Mhm.
this point in time? Are we taking an inventory to what we can do better? Because I've gotten this space, I've been able to be around my family so much. I've been able to delve into my kids' lives on a personal matter of just not me kicking them out at practice, picking them up, getting them a Chick-fil-A sandwich on the way home, not
Mhm.
cooking and spending time with them? Or am I just wasting all of this valuable time again and just hitting the recycle button and I'm still going through this recycler just like I got to dry those clothes again? So I'm going around the tundrum. This is a big part of it because we can be mentors. Parents can be mentored to the kids that's growing up in our own households. We can be mentors to them, and then next to them take it out. I go now. I remember I used to go to a parents teacher conference, and yes, my child went to, and we still live not too far from that community. It was 99% Caucasian community,
Mhm.
1% African American, about 0.1% Hispanic that went to their schools. And parent teacher conference night did not look like a school in the ghetto. I mean, a lot of times I was the only black parent sitting in the classes.
Mm.
But what was special to me about doing that, and I look forward to that, because I wanted to hear what they said about my child. And man, before I get to the door, if it wasn't the police officer who manned the door, or yeah, Rob, you are a bad influence, absolutely. If it wasn't the policeman that was at the door, the truancy officer, all the principal, all of them as I was coming in, it's like because my son looks just like me, and he was like, "You got to be Cameron's dad." It's like, man,
Mm.
you raised an awesome kid. He's like such a gentleman, and you look at those kind of things, and you take pride in that. And if you if me a survey, think I would say I couldn't tell you what I did. All I told you, I didn't play. You did your books and you was respectful. Those are my three top things. And don't lie to me because you're just about to sign your death certificate. But those
Mm-mm.
are the only things those are the only things that I had as rules. But we got to get back to the fact of just mentoring in our own homes, mentoring those in our own circle. And when I say that, not entering into necessarily relationship or mentoring, but being an example where someone can see that you're doing things better than they are, or they can kind of gravitate to like, yo, like Charlene, she did websites better than me, so I figured that she can mentor me. Now I know how to make my own landing page. I know how to create
Come on
sites,
now. And
and
and and speaking of, because and that's also the his landing page. You can get to his landing page through our website. I made sure that so you can get to his landing page, and it's cute. It's nice.
oh God.
No, no,
And it
but
ain't a whole lot of pictures and stuff, right?
exactly. But
It's not
in
a
all
photography
honesty,
page.
Carl listened. He took the advice, and he did a great job for his vulnerability toolkit, where you can go there, get that taste, because he about to
Of
launch his
course,
course, and it
it's
won't be a
going.
taste. He about to give you everything. So make
Yes.
sure that you can get there and connect with Carl, and you can connect with me too, because my website link is on there to get you to your actual website content strategy. A lot of people, I'm going to use you, Carl, as an example.
Oh wow, wow. This is real
Just
talk,
need
guys.
no, a lot of times that we're just in that mode, we need to
Yeah.
get it up. We need to get something up and running. But I'm here for when now you've done it, it's up and running, it's something that can work. Now let's get it positioned properly. Let's get it structured properly. What do you need to really create? Maybe you need to be doing more videos and stop writing, because writing might not be your thing. So maybe video's your thing. Maybe you're writing too much. Maybe you need to
Oh,
shut
oh,
that down.
oh,
But
oh,
all
oh.
of
I'm
all of
feeling a
that,
little chill in the air over here.
all of that you can definitely get at my website, strugglesite.com. And you can, like I said, connect to Carl and me on our brand new site,
Yes.
Real Talk Live
It is
Podcast.
live, y'all. Go check it out. I'll let
Yes.
Charlene tell you what is on there because I don't want to say too much.
Oh, so yeah, so for those of you who just joined us, like I said before, on realtalklivepodcast.com, it's really about making sure that you guys can see our shows because we know LinkedIn is kind of hard to get back to them. We do broadcast at them simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube, but it's not always the same. Like you, if you still need to figure it out which shows or which who was on at what time, so we're trying to simplify that. That's why the website is there. And soon we're gonna have some merch. Carl's in charge of that.
Yes, yes. I already got in the cart. Whenever we get this opportunity, we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna let you know how to get that as well. Cause yeah, we doing real talk. We doing real talk. So
Yes.
we gotta
So we had
go.
some amazing people on there, like Phyllis, her episodes up there. Go
Yes,
check
Phyllis is
that
up
because
there.
that was a fire ass episode. I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
we don't have Rob on there. I wonder why we don't have Rob on there. I don't think
And don't
Rob
and
has put
don't
that
don't act
link.
like I didn't send Rob the
Yes,
booking
I'm
form. Like
sure
I
he
was
got a
like,
book, but he's such an important person. I did
and
drop by this
he's
morning with him
busy.
and
I
Philip.
think Rob has like 40 shows going
Yeah, he got
on.
about 40 shows, 10 courses. Then he got live
Yes.
directives, and yeah, Rob is doing things big, doing things big. I think his middle name is LeJ. Rob LeJ Berry. You know,
Because
he's got a lot of stuff going on.
he is sure enough on his way to be in his own private jet too.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
Rob don't play. When you know you need somebody to help you out,
He
Rob
said we don't
don't
want him. He said
play.
we don't want Rob.
Whatever, Rob.
Yeah, whatever, Rob. Whatever,
Whatever,
Rob.
Rob.
You know we always coming for you, Rob. Whatever.
Whatever, Rob.
Oh,
Cause and here we go. Here we go. Wait a minute.
please.
And bam. I don't want to hear nothing out of Rob. I want to hear nothing out of
There you
Rob.
go, Rob. There you go, Rob. There. Click, my friend. Click
I
and
don't want to
point.
hear nothing out of Rob.
Yes, yes. So we can have them all day. Shout out to him. A great show this morning. Dropped in on him and my man Philip
And
Horn.
Phil,
Yeah,
yes,
giving
they
you
were
some
giving
great
it in.
information from Phil. Give you that information you can use right in your living room, and he's across the pond. So he's giving you that good information. So shout out to that. See, it's another one of those GA collaborations going on, y'all. That's all it
MGA,
is. And
for
all this
those who
is
don't know,
Growth
is GA.
Academy. If you don't know, let
Yep,
me spell it out for you, because sometimes
yep.
people have a hard time with initials. Yo, Philip, that's why he has his own shows. What's up, Philip? Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Really do.
Yep.
It's a good thing, and it builds community. And we've all been in that community where we are. What's the video? Oh, I like that rock. Carries way back. Carries way back. That's an inside joke, y'all.
Yes.
But I like the fact of that we've been through some challenges. We've been in a community, and now we're continuing on, even upholding and supporting and uplifting each other
Mhm.
after we've been through the challenge. Because a lot of times the community is there for the moment, but we found the community within us, and there's many more of us that's not on here that continue to feed into each other, continue to give feedback, continue to be helpful.
Yeah.
Rob said G to the A like the gangster for sure. That continue to be helpful and continue to do that. And this is what we strive to do on Real Talk. This is why we built this. That's why we envision. That's what we envision for this collaboration. I have always envisioned the West Side, West Side, West Side. Rob, I got my fingers up on me. West Side.
No, no gang signs. What you saying today?
Oh man,
What you
West
saying
Side.
today?
Yes, but these are some of the things that are the fruits of us continue to uplift each other and continue to support each other, and that's what it's about. Even though we look at the community that's fostered and what we're in, we're really mentoring each other
Mm-hmm.
because we all come from different spheres of information, knowledge base, locales, all of those things we brought together in this place that we're sharing and giving and taking and applying. And that's what it's all about. And we're unleashing our potential in the rest of that. We're seeing it. You're seeing it. LinkedIn, you've been seeing it unfold, and we're happy to
Yeah.
continue that. Yeah.
And because one of my best mentors and still is, and because she's still active in my life, because she's also a good friend of mine, she's the one who got me started with coding and learning
Great.
the back end of a website and making it beyond just pretty and trying to figure out why isn't something happening. So Zaji, I appreciate her for everything because that's been that seed that she planted that I made it my mission to say, okay, I need to nurture this, make it grow, because that's what you want, right? You want somebody that when you give them a little bit, they can take the rest and keep pushing forward, before you know it, you turn around and it's like, wow, you did all of this. Like, I knew you could, but I just wanted to see it. So
Yes, because it's essential because we all need help, and
mhm,
regardless of where it comes from, the purpose of which you need it, the connections that you build will give you that help. And no one knows what you need until you open your mouth and be vulnerable. That's my key word. Be vulnerable about what's going on and let somebody know. See? So
right.
that's what it is. So, Charlie, what we got going on? What we got going? This hour has went by so amazing. We thank all of y'all for just like chopping in with us again. I can't say it enough. Real live, real talk live podcast.com. The website is up. Go on there and check out some of our funniest moments. No, it ain't no bloopers. We just have fun doing what we doing.
Not yet, at least.
We don't need to have no bloopers to be
We
honest,
ain't
because we
doing that
just
yet.
how you see us is how we are. I mean, we don't hold nothing back. I think I put a post out a few days ago. Is it live? Is it Memorex? Just start thinking about that for you old school people. Yeah, we don't have no blooper reels, but we do have some fun. We do have tons of information. Can't say that enough. And we do get some inspiring and some amazing guests that's coming on that has shared their information, has shared not only that, share steps on how to get started, has given
Yeah.
away stuff and let you know that you know you can get it on. But Charlene, what you got coming up? What you got going on?
Well, I'm just gonna say it. I'm finally getting out two courses, but the
Oh,
first
two
one,
courses.
man,
Double
the first
educate.
one that's coming up is with our amazing Rob Berry, and we're about to
Wow.
help people launch something. If you feeling stuck, if what you have right now is trash, we're gonna help you out.
Well, let's
uh,
hope your stuff is not trash. Like, I mean,
we're
just
gonna
maybe
help
you
you
got to
out,
find your way. Let's put this a little more
man,
tactful. I
man.
know we real talk, but we know.
Man, it's close to launch time. I'm so excited. It's close to launch time. We got the course itself ready. So we're just gonna get some other things. Of course, the marketing part, we're getting that revved up. But website rehab, that's what we're gonna do. So we are gonna rehab that bad website you
Yeah,
have. And
yeah.
or bad website idea. If it's
Oh
just like,
wow.
look, that's just not even gonna work. Like, what you saying today? We're gonna help you get off the
Oh,
pot and get to
wow.
work. Like, stop sitting there pondering, because I get that too. You get so many ideas. You need to get something out so people can see it and then tell you yay or nay. But you can't do that if you're just wishing and wondering. So website rehab is about to launch. We cannot wait. And I also have Launch Ready. That's going to be a course that I'm doing with my amazing friend Michelle. And that's really going to take you through, once you already did the website, you got that fine tuned and you got it up and running. Now you need to go through the entire website strategy. So instead of you doing it alone, Michelle and I are going to help you get from the concept of tweaking it, how to get your traffic, how to build your marketing, and then where should you start creating your graphics and start getting that done properly so people not looking at you like a 2 month old put it together. So
Wow.
we gonna help you. We gonna
She
help you
is
get
on the
your life
road today, ladies and gentlemen. You are
so
getting
we
the
gonna
full force
help you
today.
get up. So launch ready intensive is gonna that's coming out in January. But the first thing up, because you can't get launch ready until we get your website rehabbed all the way up. So website rehab is coming up in December.
Yes, and please, you guys. Hopefully, your stuff is not trash. You just need a little help and direction with
Mm.
your stuff. I'm not going to call it all trash like that. We're going to be
Hopefully
sensitive.
we don't have to burn it all down
Oh
and start
wow,
back.
wow, she's still going on. She's still going on. So we
Because
to make sure
that's what I'm doing. And for 20, by the end of
burning it
December
down.
of 2021, I'm getting my lighters ready. Because 2022, I'm burning stuff down. I'm not even gonna play with y'all no more. We're not
Wow,
doing the patchwork anymore. We burning it down, and we're gonna
wow,
start right back up. Let's go.
wow. Okay, guys. Well, I normally don't
What
play
you
good
got,
cop.
Carl? What
I
you got
normally don't
coming?
play good cop, bad cop, but I think at this point in time, we need a good cop in here. We need somebody that's going to unloose the handcuffs a little bit and let your wrist do a little breathing because she's like choke you
what
out.
you doing, Carl? What
Oh
you
man, I
doing?
got the course. The course is oh man, I can't stop. The course is there. I'm almost there. I know I was supposed to have the November 1st deadline. I ran into a couple of snags of the platform to put it out, but we're just gonna put that out. Definitely, like Charlene said, get it out there and let. I got a lot of people that's in the wait list that's on this, and I'm contemplating this Zoom adventure with this course. But just definitely go there to the website and look at the beautifully done landing page that was done by
Yeah.
my mentors, by my entering into a mentorship with my web architect, the wonderful Charlie Brown, who redid my page. And I'm loving that. Also, for the month of November, I am having November of Thanksgiving special, and I'm having 20% off the 101-hour consultations that I'm doing for this whole month. So
Mm.
definitely go on there. That session is going to include three goals that we're going to identify, three steps to move forward, and we're also going to have the three email follow up accountabilities to making sure that you're staying on point with that. That is all going to be an hour, but those three emails, of course, will go over the course of time. Whenever you want to email me, you get three of them, and we'll follow up with what you started and what you're doing with that. Of course, we got the vulnerability toolkit that we're
Mhm.
talking those. We got those four modules that's going to take you through the introduction, breaking bad habits, and moving forward. And the breakthrough. That the breakthrough is the transformation, and we're going to continue that on. That's the last part of that, but it's also opportunities for you to come back and let's go through that and see if the breakthrough actually happened. We're going to do follow up with that, so that's what the course about. I also got another course that I'm working on. It was brought up to me by I got another show, as you guys know, Authentic in Leadership, and we're coming up. I'm doing a workshop with the wonderful Tracy Boris, and I have kind of like joined on her group. She has a group that's called Business Peeps, and I've joined in her group. I've already done a couple of Zoom workshops with them, and we kind of like that was kind of like the beta for me to see who would be receptive and who was. And oh man, it was tremendous. So we're having a Brandon bonanza. Now she's an expert in authentic branding. You say, well, Carl, man, you don't know nothing about branding. We're talking about vulnerability in branding. We're
Mm.
talking about the key part of it, not the putting up the pictures, not the putting up the prettiness. We're
Yeah.
talking about getting your message together. Who do I want to
Mhm.
show people I am? And see, a lot of times people take for granted that, oh, give me somebody to brand me. No,
Yeah.
who are you? What are
Yes.
you trying to do? What are you? So my vulnerability and branding workshop that I'm doing with her, and soon to be probably looking at that as a course because she's got some ideas that I thought I had some ideas. She got something that's kind of like crazy with that. So I'm looking forward to working with her on that. And we got that coming up later on this month in November. I'll have more details out on that and how you can get involved in the workshop. So I think it's like 16. It's like 16 people, 11 workshops. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So I've been finding myself in those the past 3 or 4 months because there's a space there where people are dying and thirsting for information, and it's not all about putting out the top dollars or paying the most or whatever. It's about at this point in time the people getting the things that they need, coming back to you, building that credibility of you the one that they need to see, and just work with that. So that's
Mhm.
what I've been joining in on, and that's what it is. Not like you got to know who I am. I'm Mr. Vulnerability. Rob will tell you, just go in Clubhouse. We holler that out. Mr. Vulnerability is in the room. But there are some avenues that I'm helping other people engage and do things that's pushing them off. Like I had to push Charlene off the cliff. She got wings. She sprouted the wings. Now look at she talks to her. I can't even hold her back no more. Oprah, watch out, Oprah.
Oh my gosh. Anywho.
Yeah, so those are some of the those are some of the things that we're working on. We just talking about embracing your vulnerability. We're going to continue to put that out and do that. And we went back to the podcast as well. And we are on YouTube, correct, with the real lives.
Yes, but
We're
we're
on
gonna
YouTube
start
as
putting
well.
our shows up. Like I said, we're
Yes.
gonna talk about chopping that up. So
Yeah, we're gonna chop that up, man. We got some stuff in the works, guys. We don't want you guys to go anywhere because we definitely want. And I got something else coming up for a Christmas special. I am thinking about this rebranding, this reflections that I did quite maybe about a year ago, and
mm,
it was the reflections. And now since a year at that point in time, I'm just a reflect over so many things I've learned, and I'm gonna kind of put that together as a presentation, and I'm going to be doing those 1 minute bites of those on Live Kids as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of stuff to share with you. And if you guys don't know, now you know. As in Rob said, Rob,
Yeah.
West Side, Rob.
Gang signs. The gang signs cannot be
Oh,
supported by Real Talk Live.
Real Talk does not endorse those kind of signs. So we just said West Side. We just said where you
those
from.
are by Carl Shawn Watkins.
Yeah, Rob said you heard. You heard. That's right, Rob. You heard. Keep me grounded, Rob.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so we
Lord.
want to thank all of you guys for supporting us continuously. We can't do this without you guys. We thank you guys for showing up. Of course, our GA mates, Philip, Rob, and everyone who showed up to the thing. I can't scroll and see everybody's name. Phyllis, I'm
Phyllis,
telling you for showing
Gabe,
up. Orlando, thank you for stopping by,
yes.
man, talking
Orlando
to
going to
us.
do his
We got
duty.
Kamir joining
Believe.
us.
Yes.
Aleda, I'm hoping I pronounced that right. You guys,
Mhm.
please come back and check us out on Thursday, guys. On Thursday, I went up the street and got me some legal people. I have a judge, yes, a sitting judge that is going to be on the show on Thursday at 10.
I gotta be on my P's and Q's.
Yes, right, because it's because we might be breaking the law and we might have to come get Charlene about the Brooklyn Clink.
But
So
she can't know what I'm doing though. She can't know what
yes, she can't know what you're doing. She can't know what you're doing, but we do. Yes, we have. We're gonna have on Thursday Judge Gay Polk White, and she's going to be on. She is a sitting judge, has been for the past 20 years in the
Mm,
state of Mississippi. She's a justice, district court judge, and she's sitting on the bench. She has a law firm, guys. She is. You're just going to hear her story. I'm not going to give it all to you, but you got to show up here on Thursday at 10. Like she's a singer, songwriter. Her songs has been on Broadway. She
mm.
sings. She's got a law firm. She's a judge. I mean, like it's just endless. I didn't even have a topic to do for her show. I just said journey undefined because this is everything she's touched pretty much to turn to gold. So we look forward to talking with her on Thursday and getting her insight into her journey and what she's doing now, in essence of how she's doing the law and how she's giving back in the community down there in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So look forward
Mhm.
to that, guys. Don't be
Can't
miss it.
wait.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. If you don't,
Thank
I'm gonna
you
send her to
all.
send you out a summons, and we're gonna have you locked up.
Really, really. But
That's how it
thank
starts.
you.
So I want to start no corruption. That's how it starts.
Thank you, everybody. It's
Oh
been a pleasure, and we're
yes.
out.
Deuces, peaceful. Deuces.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
All right, man. I'll